On today's episode of the Film Breakdown Show, we talk runs, we talk power, outside zone with a pin, little wrinkle for you there. Make sure you check that out. And we talk the Miami Dolphins offense. Everything they do is designed to test eye discipline. What does Joe Witt Jr. and this defense do to stop him? And then on defense, they kind of do the same thing. Zone pressures, simulated pressures, some fun stuff there. It all starts right now. Welcome to the Film Breakdown Show. I'm Logan Paulsen, here with a voice, a feeling. Just a guy, Jason. How are you? Doing okay?
I'm doing great.
Great, man. I love
Hopefully the feelings of good vibes.
Yeah, good vibes. And we're going to be previewing the Miami Dolphins, but I'm going to use the Miami Dolphins as a good opportunity to kind of introduce you to some runs, too, that we talk about quite a bit. So we're going to get started with that right now. So the first run that we got here is power. We've talked about power a lot. So to me, power is characterized by a kick out by the fullback. So we got our fullback. He's this dude right here. That's Patrick Ricard, big old offensive lineman looking dude, right?
For the Ravens.
For the Ravens. That's exactly right. So he's going to come. He's going to kick out the end man of line of scrimmage. Okay? Got it? That's exactly what's going on here. So then you got a kick out. We got a down block by our tight end here. He's going to block down. And then we got a pull by the backside guard. That's usually, where's my guard? Usually kind of how you would characterize power.
Can you just draw it up for me
real
quick?
I'll draw it up. I'll draw it
box.
up for sure. Because there's a couple things about it that are really cool because this is about as well executed as you can get for power. So we're going to get a kick out. We're going to get a down block. They're going to double team this. The tight end's kind of extra. You're going to take this all the way back. Tight end's going to track all the way through. The guard's going to pull around and block 20 right here. Now, one of the things about runs is that they come to life a little bit. So we got our first double team right here. Let's take a look. This one right here. Double team. They're going all the way back. But watch this player here, how he kind of attacks downhill into the double team. So he's going to get peeled. So now we end up with two guys, the tight end and the tackle, on this block, right? Because you're kind of you're protecting a gap, right? So this guard is protecting his inside gap. This guy's fitting here. The tackle is going to block that because he's protecting it. And the tight end's kind of staying on his track to whatever shows up in here, right? So they both end up blocking 25. You see the tight end does such a good job on this,
man. That's a nice little shove. Get over here for our guard.
Yeah, this really fires me up because I've done this before. This is so hard to do. This guy looks like, we just saw it, you got to protect your gap. It looks to me like he's attacking this gap. But at the last second, what does he do? He plays out. I'm not going to waste my block on that because I know someone's coming. I'm going to stay on course. We're going to keep pushing the thing across. This is really, really good by the kickout guy. Great job by Patrick Ricard. Look at his helmet. Hat's inside. Awesome job making it nice and clean for the guard. We just talked about the tight end, how he did a great job bypassing, even though someone's threatening his gap, working to the next level. Awesome job. And then the back can kind of, first off, awesome here in terms of the concave nature of this run. Like, that's what you want. They talk about owning the line of scrimmage. We've allowed Derrick Henry, our back, to attack downhill and penetrate into the defense. And then now he can kind of pick whichever way he wants to go. He can keep it front side. He can attack backside. And quite frankly, like, if I'm this dude right here, I am freaking out because I have to tackle Derrick Henry
with a full head of steam.
One-on-one with a full head of steam because we own the line of scrimmage. And
don't push play yet. Oh, go back. I just want to point out that the two holes that you're talking about there, look how small those are.
They're very small.
That's NFL open holes for a running back.
To me, this one right here, this one that he ends up picking, is actually like a big hole by NFL standards. Also, before I'd be remiss, I said this is one of the best power clips you'll ever see. Watch the receiver here, man. This is awesome. So first off, like, usually you got to crack because this player here, this safety, is a run support player, right? So watch how he pushes vertically, occupies the corner, and then at the last second blocks the safety. That is a big-time job by your receiver. That's Zay Flowers. That's really nice work. So when they say the run game takes everybody, it quite literally takes everybody doing an excellent job. And this is the free hitter. This guy, number 9, we talked about him. He's the free hitter. So for the running back, bring your own blocker. Derrick Henry's pretty good at that. We're going to get downhill, untouched, and we're going to – that's just a tough day at the office, coach. Like, run behind your shoulder pads, drive your shoulder pad into his skull, and watch his body just kind of reverb out of there. That is a tough down. but that's physical by everybody. Talk about people just winning one-on-ones and executing at a high level. This, my friends, is a thing of beauty. This is how you run the football very effectively. And it's not the formation. It's not the scheme necessarily. It's well executed, well coached.
The execution, yeah. Now, this Commanders show, and we're playing the Dolphins. So if this works against the Dolphins, why don't the Commanders run out of I formation and run that power I that everybody has seen in Madden? I think it's one of the first choices you get when the selected choices in Madden. It's the A button. Like, what is it?
I'm glad you bring that up, Jason. And when we get to the Miami Dolphins offense, I want to show you something that'll kind of prove this point. You can do this, right? Anybody can do this. Get under center, run this run. It's just how much time have you spent with it? Like, I look at this and I can tell by looking at this tight end, they have run this hundreds of times. I can look at the fullback and tell by how he inserts on this block that they've run this hundreds of times. Like, they have banked reps at this. Is this the Commanders' best run? Have we run power like this?
But why not is my question. Is that a personnel thing or a philosophy thing?
I think they have other runs they like more. Quite honestly, they like this bounce kind of pin pull kind of stuff. They like that. They like trap a lot. They like duo quite a bit. I don't think they counter a ton. Counter is a very similar run to this, but power is a Baltimore Ravens staple in their offense. They run it. You can just tell they just have a good feel.
They have a fullback on their roster for this type of stuff.
A big old hoss of a fullback, right?
So let's just play it out as a thought experiment. Mm-hmm. Commanders want to run this this Sunday in Spain. Against the Miami Dolphins. So who's playing fullback? Who are these?
Yeah.
And then how many times would you have to run this rep in practice to feel comfortable that we can execute it?
I'd have to run it
in a crucial area of the field.
Personally, I'd have to run it a lot. I'd have to run it a ton, right? But basically,
what's a ton though?
So
is it amount of time or amount of literal
people
reps?
are like, so I coach one of the tight ends for the Ravens. Mm-hmm. So he sends me stuff from practice. He sends me individual work. He has been working on this run since he got there 3 years ago. That is a ton of reps. So in the off season, in OTAs and minicamp, in training camp, for the last 3 years to get this kind of result, right? When you own a run, like this kid right here is crazy. 9 out of 10 tight ends block 20, right? You end up wasting 2 guys on the block. Right, 2 guys on the block. Where was my number? 2 guys on the block, and it ends up being a kind of a neutral run. Like
because 25 is fitting in that gap.
Right, and so you're like, okay, whatever. But when you see teams that just know what they're doing, rep it, hat placement, execution, timing, it's a lifestyle. So when I say a ton, I'm saying like an off season's worth of reps. So I always hate when coaches are like, this is a personal preference of mine, or personal perspective of mine, is when they're like, hey, we saw this run that the team ran last week. Oh, like for example, the Bengals ran this really cool crack toss play. And then it's like, oh, well, we're going to put that in. And so the thing about that run that the Bengals ran is they banked a ton of reps at it. So we can run it like the Commanders or the Redskins when I was here. We could run it versus a base 4 down front. But what if they play an odd front? What if they bring a pressure? Like, who do we block? Like, how do we handle these different variations? We haven't put the equity into the run to really own it the way we need to own it to make sure we can execute it versus all looks.
You know I love analogies and metaphors and things like that, right? I'm going to give you a music one here. Okay? I don't know how many people are going to vibe with this. I thought I was bringing good vibes. Hopefully it's going to. I like jazz music.
Yes.
Really do.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things about when I was playing jazz and learning to play jazz is I love improvisation. Everybody loves the solo. The issue with the solo is when you go to a high school jazz concert, they haven't done enough reps with that progression. That progression doesn't change. That blues progression is going to be there.
Yeah.
But those kids haven't played it enough. When I was in high school, hadn't played it enough to know all the variations, to know that the drummer might do this here. The bass player might do this here. Piano player might do this here.
It's a great
analogy.
We
haven't heard enough of it, and it throws you off.
It's a perfect analogy.
Throws you right off. But you get a professional.
And they can figure it out.
And they've heard it all before. Not only have they heard it all before, I've heard that. Now I'm going to play off of that. And then when they all do that, now you're really cooking with gas, and you're hearing something that is a big There's one person soloing and improvising, but everybody is complementing that together.
Yeah.
So with jazz, sorry, this is a long one.
No, it's good.
With
But
jazz,
I like it,
your saxophonist is improvising. It's not just him. He's leading it.
Right.
Everybody is also improvising around within the structure. My point being, this is within the structure of this run, but they all know no matter what that Miami does here, we know how to improvise together without verbal communication to make this just a beautiful Coltrane solo.
1,000%. And so when I have a run scheme that I really own, like I think about outside zone with Kyle Shanahan and Mike Shanahan when they were here, like we could block it versus anything. I hate when it's like, hey, let's throw this running because we saw someone else do it. That's their run. That's their thing that they do all the time. And so for us to add it in, like if they give us something other than what we expect, we're going to mess it up.
Now, Washington has run plays that are very effective that the Ravens would never do.
Yeah, so for example, like counter is a really good example right here. So let's just say like counter. So all counter is this guy would come out and he would kick, and then this guy would take a counter step and then load back in. So you're just basically switching who the kick and the load is. You could get to this exact same distribution, right? But they don't run straight power because you don't have a fullback that weighs 300 pounds on the roster.
Yeah.
Right? It's helpful.
And if you go do that, then you're going to remove somebody else from the roster that helps you do maybe what you want to do more of or fits your style better.
Yeah, and so like teams that run a lot of power, so like think about the Chargers, the Baltimore Ravens, they both have converted defensive linemen that are fullbacks because like you need in high school, it's fine. You can get, Bobby, 180-pound kid to kick somebody out because everyone's 180 pounds. The problem is when you're kicking out a dude at defensive end who is big, like 260 pounds, you need someone big to kick that person. You need a
Mike Sellers back there, man.
Oh, Mike Sellers, man. Yeah, nice 285 pounds, lean killing machine. So that's one run. The other one I want to do outside zone pin real quick. And so when you're running outside zone, you're trying to stretch the seam horizontally, right? And find a crease somewhere along the route, okay? One thing teams are doing, this is kind of a very modern run actually, is the hardest part is that this tackle now has to reach somebody who's out leveraged. So usually he reaches here, this guy steps up, and we have now set the edge of the defense right here. There's no more going farther. So how do we stretch when there's a hard edge? What do? We take the receiver, we pin, we sneak this guy through, and now we've jacked up the edge of the defense because now we can pull our 300-pound pullback to the perimeter, and now we got action. So anytime you're running any type of perimeter stretch play, you have to account for the edge player, whether you're going to reach him, whether you're going to down block him, whether you're going to kick him out, however you're going to do it, and watch how they do it here. They're going to pin with the receiver. Great job pinning. We're going to get our lineman up to the next level. Boom, up on this beautiful double team. Great job. 20 plays inside because why does he play inside? Why does he play underneath? It's because he's expecting the run to cut back because he's expecting what? This guy to step up and set a hard edge, but he can't. And now we're to the perimeter. So we're using outside zone principles, but look, we've built a wall, right? We've created our own cut, and now we've got Patrick Ricard on a corner. I love that matchup all day, every day. And we got Derrick Henry running downhill with square shoulders, right? So I love that, but that's a really fun way to take an outside zone principle, add a little bit of a man concept to it, and still get what you want from the outside zone. So I thought this was just a fun, look at outside zone. Look, we can get just how it affects our angles. We're here, up to the next level, here, up to the next level. We pin, we're to the perimeter, and we create a wall. It's a really well-designed, well-executed run that they run all the time. If you think back to the game against the Commanders last year, they ran this run late in the game for an explosive play.
I love this. Thanks for drawing this up for me. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
My question is, though, again, it's in the eye.
Yeah.
But you said a lot of teams run this. Again, is it the eye because of the fullback that they have? And can the Commanders run this play, or have they run this play? It's just out of a different formation.
Yeah, so I haven't seen the Commanders run this one specifically, honestly, but you can run this play. Miami is the first team that ran this a lot. And so how they would do it is they would get two tight ends kind of they put them over here, where that one is. They jet motion him across the formation.
Right.
You'd snap it when he's right there. Then
he becomes your fullback.
And he would pull and come to the
That's what I was asking. If you can, because then you can be, let's say you're in shotgun, Your running back is next to you.
Yeah.
You have, so what are you in 21? And then Bates is coming across.
And we've
pulling
run
up and
versions
sealing
of that, like kind of with Bates in motion, mostly for gap and inside zone stuff. But I do think this is something that we can do. We've got, Traylon Burks is a big body. He could probably do a down block on a defensive end. So
Debo.
Yeah, Debo, someone like that. That'd be great. So again, getting these perimeter pins, and again, this isn't like a true pin pull. It's an outside zone, because if you're pulling, what you would do is you take this guy and he would pull around the pin, but it's not a true pin pull. It's an outside zone principle. And again, Miami started this. They don't have a fullback. They do have a fullback, but he's more of a tight end type body. And so, Jason, I'm so glad you asked me about why in the gun versus why not. And so a lot of people say gun, like let's go back to this one. Let's just this is fresh in your mind. Under center, look how long it takes the ball to get to the running back.
Also, everyone immediately is thinking run. The linebackers are crashing down towards that.
But see, look, so we reverse out with the quarterback. He's going to reverse this way. You hide the ball for a second. Watch, it's right behind him. You see how the ball's gone from the defensive view? This, when you talk to defensive players, is why. It forces a direct action immediately by the linebackers.
Yeah.
And you can hide the football offensively. So this is why I like under center. But I also think when you talked about Miami, they're the first ones to run this one. Look, they're in the gun here, right? With all these different people running around.
Look at this crazy formation.
Yeah, look at this right here. But when you're in the gun, watch what they can do here. When we're previewing Miami, they can fake a pitch, they can fake a reverse, and then they can throw a drift, right? You can't do this same action under center, right?
Yeah.
So like this is some stuff that I've seen Cliff do. So you fake the pitch to this guy, you fake the handoff to this guy, you bring the tight end back across, and let me just call attention. So what are you trying to do ultimately with backfield action? Under center, you want to freeze linebackers. Watch, I can't highlight all of them, but watch these linebackers. Watch what they do here based on this backfield action. They go, oh shoot, step up, step out, and we create windows in the throwing lanes, right?
Yeah.
So to me, when I look at this, I say, people say, oh, you have to be under gun. You have to be under center. You have to be under center. If you are creative with the backfield action, you get the same result that you want, right? You get them thinking run. And I think, let's go to the end zone real quick because I really like what it looks like to these guys back here. So watch them here. We're going to get these guys stepping down. Look, they think it's run. Down, down, down. Fitting runs, right? And then we get nice big throwing windows. That's ultimately what you want. You just want to put the linebackers in conflict. They do it from the gun, from pistol essentially. And the Baltimore Ravens do it from under center.
Yep.
As long as you know the tool you're using and how to apply it, that's the thing that I think is cool, right?
Yep.
It's like you can make it work either way. So the reason I put this clip on here was to show you that, but also to show you this is what Miami wants to do. This is the perfect encapsulation of their offense. They want to show you some crazy backfield action, right? Pitch, reverse, who's got the ball, what's happening. And then we're going to run a little bit of a glance or a drift. You guys remember that with Robert Griffin III to the space created by the linebackers who don't know what's going on. Linebacker, right?
Flamenco dancing out there.
Yeah, and then we're just going to get a nice clean throwing window for our guy Tua Tagovailoa. So when you're playing them, when you're dealing with Miami, eye discipline is at the pinnacle of what's happening, right? It's at the pinnacle.
It's interesting you said RG3. And the reason I'm bringing that up was McDaniel here with RG3 and you.
Yep.
And these are the concepts that were run there. Is that now, even though Tua doesn't have the same athletic profile that Robert Griffin III did, is it the way that he reads a defense is why he's running the same sort of stuff, or is this just a McDaniel style?
So we talk about easy buttons for a quarterback.
Easy button, right?
So I want to manage variables for the quarterback, right? So the second these linebackers step up and they don't drop out, now I have ensured throwing windows for the quarterback, right? I've ensured throwing lanes. You can see these lanes here. Let's see if I can show you. I've ensured these lanes here for the quarterback. These throwing windows, that type of vision there, right? So that's what we're getting to. Is it just I've taking pieces off the board defensively and allowing you to see coverage contour at a high level, right? That's all we're doing. And then I can just deliver this in on a strike.
And if they do drop back, you have guys coming out of the backfield. That's where the ball's probably going.
But if the action's good enough, if the action's strong enough,
zip it in there.
Doesn't matter. And that's what Tua is so good at. This is his superpower, right? It is ball handling. Like, this is hard to do. Fake a pitch, set your feet, and throw a strike. Like, that's challenging. Like, he's a point guard back there with the football. That's why he's good. That's why Mike, I think, has built this offense totally around his skill set. It's quick release, good ball handling. So this is what Miami is offensively, and it applies to their run game. Let's take a look at this wide thing. Everything is based on misdirection and trickeration, right? Where's the ball? Who knows? The quarterback's jumping up in the air. These linebackers definitely don't know. Look at these guys. They're like, where's the ball? They think it's going to the left.
Yeah, Hamilton there looks a little confused, honestly.
And this is why when you're in the pass game, in the run game, everything is designed to move you so that we get good angles in the run game. Let's go, or that Miami gets good angles in the run game. Let's go here. So watch, look at the offensive line. They're going to sell run this way, right? That's why these guys step up like this, because they think the run's going here.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to loop this tackle out. We're going to get an extra hat to the front side. This guy has no freaking clue where the ball is. And watch, boom. We've outflanked the defense. Remember we talked about how do you handle edges in defenses?
Yeah.
They're like, shoot, we're just going to use misdirection to the perimeter. Great job by the wideout. Good run games. Always got good wideouts. Running backs blocking. And now we've got a crease in an alley, whatever that thing is that the guy used to say. Crease, boom. And we're off to the races with Devin A-Chain, who is a fast son of a gun. And the other thing I love here is this. Look at this offensive tackle, man. This is Patrick Paul's brother. He's getting out, working some 40 times out here. Dig it out. Come on, big fella. Let's go.
Patrick Paul, Chris Paul's brother.
Yes, what I say?
Patrick Paul's brother.
Yes, Chris Paul's
That's
brother.
Patrick Paul, Chris Paul's brother.
Yeah, who's a huge man, by the way. He's like 6'8", like 350. Anyway, so this is who they want to be. Misdirection in the play in the passing game for play action pass, and misdirection in the run game. They do not have the Baltimore Ravens pitch where it's like, let's line up and just smash this football down your throat.
Mm-hmm.
It's all perimeter runs. It's all kind of, I don't want to say gimmicky because I love the design of it, but it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors to get you where you want to go offensively.
It's testing the defense's eye discipline.
1,000,000%. And so there are times where teams just don't move versus them, and all the stuff they want to get to doesn't work, right?
Right.
Because they're relying on you to take yourself out of the play.
Logan, how do you stay eye disciplined with all this window dressing going on and trickeration? And is it just like watching a magic show long enough that you know that this is just sleight of hand? You know what the trick is?
I think
like, is
so.
it enough film?
Like I look at this is kind of a cool thing they did, right? So they're kind of doing a little bit of a gap exchange here, right? So if you're going to gap exchange, like do what you're supposed to do. Like look at this guy. He's looking at the quarterback. Oh, that little bit of jump by Tua, like it's just enough to get his eyes off. But if he's about his work, if he's about what he's supposed to be doing, and he just attacks us downhill, is this play dead?
He might be there, yeah.
Yeah, it's a dead play, right? So trust what you see. Trust your keys. Don't trust the action of the backfield, right? There's certain guys. I talked to a linebacker coach once, and I thought he had a great insight. It's like the formation, or no, he said the backfield action will lie to you. You know who won't lie to you? The backfield action and the offensive line. So if they're all working together, right? Because what's the backfield action here, right? It's the running back is running this way, right? So something's going on here. But if my eyes are bad and I look at the offensive line and they're all going this way, the back's going this way, trust them in combination with the motion that's coming across this way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay. Yeah, I do.
So
I do get it.
If it's all together, it's not one thing or the other thing. It's both together. And I think he would be in a better position here. And see how he looks, quarterback jumps up. No, I shouldn't even be looking there. I should be about my work. My vision should be here.
And if you're beating the wide receiver to that spot.
Yes.
Instead, you're giving the wide receiver time to come over, put hands on you.
It's a really well-designed play, man. They do a good job of that stuff. But yeah, just being in your notebook, being on your rules, and executing at a high level, I think is what we're talking about here. All right, let's move on to the defense. And again, the defense to me is really fun. It's very similar to what Mike McDonald, is that the guy's name from Seattle?
Yep.
What he wants to do. They're from the same tree. It's a lot of kind of, I don't know, misdirection's the wrong word, but very similar. We're gonna bring this pressure. Where's our circle here? Let's get this. Bring a pressure up top, right? So it looks like we're gonna bring a 5-man pressure. The line's gonna stunt away. But instead of it being a 5-man pressure, we're gonna drop this guy out and we're gonna get to a nice cover 2 structure, if I'm not mistaken here. Yep, cover 2. So these guys are gonna drop out, boom. And now we still maintain 2 deep with how many underneath? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're in our true cover 2. So if you're not paying attention, you might feel like, oh, shoot, we're going to be hot here because we're bringing this pressure, right? But we're not. This is a perfect example of a simulated pressure. It looks like we're bringing 5. We're actually bringing 4. And really, this should be dead in the water, right? Because he thinks that they're going to bring 5. Lamar Jackson thinks they're going to bring a 5-man rush, right? I should have a nice, clean vision to the route combination here. Chop Robinson drops underneath it. Really nice job by the receiver here, sitting down in the zone, finding the space, and Lamar, lightning quick release, great completion, excellent job. So to me, that's what.
So that's great quarterback play and wide receiver play.
Good chemistry there.
Yeah, to beat that. But he was fooled.
He was fooled. Saying. Yeah, I think he was fooled. I think he was like, oh shoot, the guy's there. But great job by Lamar and Zay Flowers. It looks like, and getting after this. But this is who they want to be, right? And just the clips just pile up here, right? So look at this. Like, this is a crazy simulated pressure. So it looks like they're going to bring all out, right? But what do? They drop defensive tackles out of here. They're spying the quarterback with this dude right here. They're rushing with 2 on Kirk Cousins here, rushing with 2, and they still manage to play man coverage on the perimeter. It's a little bit, doesn't it feel a little bit like their offense, where it's like, what kind of gimmicky zone pressure, fire zone are you going to bring here to get this here? And they end up getting a pressure off the spy because Kirk Cousins thinks he's going to be hot, right? You see that?
They only bring 2 guys.
I know. How crazy is that? And they're playing man coverage behind it with 2 lurk players. Like,
yeah, but even those 2 guys, they do condense that pocket. Is that because it fooled the offensive line as well?
No, I think it's like, so when you're, do I have the end zone on this? I don't know if I have the end zone. I don't. But when you're setting, usually you expect these guys to go here, right?
Okay.
To go around.
And they're going to cut on the inside.
And they're going to cut and attack the inside shoulder. And so these players, these interior players, do a great job of holding the guard's eyes. Because again, this looks like a 5-man rush, right? So we're going to be 5-0, which means everyone's got a man. 5, we're going to block 1, 2.
Yeah, they're
3,
really
4,
selling
5.
it. Look at them all leaning forward and all that.
And it looks like that. And then so the guard, we buy the guard's eyes. These guys work an undercut. These guys work an undercut. We flush the quarterback from the pocket. And this is the piece de resistance here. Is this guy is free. So he knows he's going to flush. Kirk's going to flush. And now we just get a free runner to the ball. See that? It's a really well-designed, kind of tricky thing, because if you know what it is and you get it targeted correctly, it's nothing. You get it picked up, it's totally fine. But it's a lot of, very similar to the offense, a lot of misdirection, challenging your rules, and messing with your eye discipline.
Now, how often do they show blitzes like this and do it? Is this, and the reason I'm asking this, is this their fastball or is this their changeup?
This feels like a changeup to me, honestly. Okay. But they do it enough, right? They do it enough where you're like, I'm surprised they do it this much, right? Because you think this would be not like kind of your specialty pitch to make the baseball analogy.
Right.
But they do it enough where it's like, and it's effective for them, right? So like this is something.
What down and distance is this?
This is 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3.
Yeah.
That's tricky.
Don't love that for also like if you're the Atlanta Falcons, this is where getting in some heavier personnel on 3rd down might be helpful, right? Because they say, oh, we can't do this nonsense if they're going to come out in 12 personnel or whatever. So you might be able to dictate a little bit here. Like that's where like people talk about personnel. So 12 personnel, if everyone's good with that, is they are in 12 personnel. Look at me talking all this mess, and they're actually doing what I said to do. Right? Man, idiot. But basically getting in a more pro run formation here.
They're still pulling out to spread out wide, right? They're still doing a 3-by-2. There's still 5 receivers coming out here, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So when you're saying personnel, I'm gonna try and help you out, Logan.
Yeah.
When you're saying personnel, it's like stay in tight here.
So let's get in here. Stay in tight is what I'm saying, and make me think we could run the football here, especially in 3rd and 3, right? Right,
because Kirk isn't going to do anything.
No,
here with his
so
legs.
like you have Bijan Robinson in the backfield. That's where if I'm thinking of the defensive coordinator, I don't want to call this,
right?
Because we've got guys that are thinking about coverage responsibility.
Yeah, unless he knows that this is what the Falcons like to do,
which I think is probably what's going on here. Because what they do, and McDonald does a good job of too, is they do a great job of kind of game planning tendencies. And they call it like hot mapping. Mm-hmm. So like they know what kind of routes you want to run on 3rd down, and they tell their guys to drop to those spots and be more acute to those things.
Do you think the Commanders could, maybe I'm overthinking, but do you think that they could go, in 3rd and short, let's say 3rd and 3 or less, like you have here, they might do something like this. So what if we do show them this type of look, but we know we're going to pick it up because they might do this? Like, is that too risky? Because then if they do bring the pressure, you're in trouble. Or it's like, all right, we're going to spread out. We're going to make it think like we're going to be hot and that the defense is going to get what they want, but then we're going to do a nice little trick here.
So to me, if I was in here right now and I'm the coordinator on 3rd and 3 at this
in the midfield,
at this down and distance here, right? Like, so 3rd and 3, what is it? The 38-yard line, 37-yard line. I'm going to run the ball here. Why?
Yeah, I'm going to spread out, but I'm going to run the ball.
I'm going to run the ball, and I'm going to be physical about it, right? Yeah. We're going to run single back power. We're going to have the tight end block down, and if we don't get it, I'm going to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah. I love this, Logan, and I'm just going to compliment you here.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
Receive this. I love watching the games with my dad, texting with my dad, hearing about my dad, who is a diehard fan. And in these moments, he will see, and it's not just us, it's any team, 3rd and 3, why aren't you just lining up and smash mouthing the ball in? It's like, well, because you can because the defense also studies film.
Right.
And if you get into that spot, they're going to crash into, they're also paid professionals.
Right.
And a car wreck maybe isn't what you want on 3rd and 3. You want, like you said earlier, like you want easy buttons in a way. So by pulling out and spreading out wide maybe at some point, you're giving yourself a nice, easy 1st down because you're just outsmarting them.
Yeah.
And I know that is a hard concept sometimes, sitting on the couch and watching a game is like, because you say to yourself, it's 4th and 2, just run it. Why are we in this formation? Why aren't we in I? Why aren't we under center? It's like, well, because the defense does stuff like this that you didn't watch and you didn't study.
Didn't prep for. Yeah.
You didn't prep for. But this is what they'll do.
Yeah.
So take advantage of it.
Yeah, take advantage of it. And again, like the more I watch this call, the more I don't like it by them because I'm like,
by the Falcons.
Yeah, like what are your answers here versus man coverage? And it's a long developing play. Like if they were to bring 5 here and it was a 5-man rush, like do you like Pitts on the out here or the corner or this in cut? Like I don't really like.
You like running the ball against this?
I think in 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
If we've got Bijan Robinson, and I'd probably put John Bates in here for us and just be like, hey man, like let's figure it out. Like we can get, and it's because it's more of a game flow thing too. It's like, hey, we can run from the gun, right? But can we get like some like little tricky backfield action, motion across, make them think jet, fit this thing inside? And again, what runs do we like? Runs do we have? That's important to ask that question too. And then knowing that we have an opportunity in 4th and short.
Yeah.
That's what
just to beat a dead horse, Logan.
Beat away.
Right. You like a run in this situation.
Yeah.
Not the situation of 3rd and 3. You like it in this situation of we're going to spread out. They're probably going to do some sort of crazy thing here.
Pressure.
And if we just hand off the ball here with a nice little sweep and get Bates getting nasty in here, we got a nice little easy 1st down, keep the chains moving, and now we're in field goal range.
Correct.
But what you're not saying, again, to beat the dead horse, is 3rd and 3, line up, get under center, pound the ball in. Because you're not going to get the same defensive look.
I don't like that. Yes, right. You're right. I like it because I know what they're doing. I know that they want to do something.
I've studied the film, and I know they're going to do something little silly-goosey like this.
Little silly-goosey. And so that's where, like, when fans or when people, my dad is a good example, is like, why did they do that? It's like they have studied so much film. Like I watched 2 or 3 games, right? And I watch a couple 3rd downs here and there. I don't break it down. Like when I was playing, you get a sheet of percentages, blitzes, down and distance, down to like the half-yard line of what they want to do. And so for us to be like, wow, we should have run it. It's like, yeah, great. Or we could kind of be smart about it and use all the information we have and execute at a high level.
And sorry, how complicated football is and how smart people in the NFL buildings are and coaches are, is that I know we're going to get a comment that says like, why are we giving this away? Let me just tell you what they've this isn't coming out for another 2 weeks, but what they're already thinking, both the coaches, because this is what I would think. I'm not even a smart football person, is I would go, oh, well, they see this. They might think we're going to do something silly goosey. I'm talking if I'm Miami. So we're going to show this, but then we're going to expect a run and we're going to actually come with this pressure. But you know what Cliff is also thinking, or the offensive player is also thinking? They might think that we're doing it. It's like the Princess Bride, where it's like you think that I know that. So they're going to have checks in here.
And to be honest, Jason, like they might be okay with a 5-man look here. If you wanted to run the ball, they might be like, fine, run the ball. We feel good about our run fits. And
if they don't, or let's say they get into this and we start spreading out, they're like, oh, they're doing the thing that we hope that they're doing.
Right.
So Miami's going to check. And then you have our team's going to sit there, or the offensive team's going to go, can.
Yeah, right.
Can. And then that's the chess game
on Minnesota last week,
that I think that sometimes I forget, honestly, watching the game. I definitely forget about it as a fan. I always talk to my dad about this, but sometimes comments and YouTube, please leave comments. I love when you leave comments. I'm not saying don't comment, but this notion of like, we're giving things away. This is,
I'm going to tell you right now, we're not giving anything away.
Yeah.
As much as this feels like inside baseball, and it is probably to a lot of people, like to them, they probably look at these guys are idiots, which is fair. So that's cool.
Well, I certainly am.
All right. That's going to do it for today's show. Please make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. We love those comments, especially after all that stuff we just said. And that's going to do it for today's show. Thanks. This show was filmed at the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.